everyone. So I will start the presentation. Today we want to talk about Manchester United playing against Liverpool. The match is going to start in 1 hour, and we want to see what we can learn about these two teams based on the last time they played in the same stadium. But first of all, I need to have a quick introduction about myself. My name is Hadi Sutude. I just completed my PhD in soccer analytics at ETH Zurich last December, and for the past 4 years, I was working on identification of team formations and player positions. And exactly today's webinar is based on, let's say, what I did during my PhD studies, just running the pipeline on the tracking data of that specific match, and we will discuss the results today. I was also a teaching assistant for the university soccer analytics course, and before the start of my PhD, I worked with the Dutch FA as a football data science consultant. So we are almost getting to 40,000 followers on LinkedIn, where I regularly share football data content and have these webinars. And I was also active in football data hackathons organized by football clubs, and this is just one example from 7 years ago. So today, this is the match in the Old Trafford Stadium. And in an ideal world, we will have access to the last 5 matches of each team to study their setup and their maybe patterns when it comes to the organization on the pitch. But mainly because of the data access, we are going to focus on the last time they played against each other in the same stadium, which goes back to 1st of September 2024, and Liverpool won that match by 3 goals. So the data that we are using is the tracking data, TV broadcast mainly provided by Skill Corner as part of the context engineering course that I took at 12. And to just get an idea how the data looks like, this is just a visualization where you have the red team, Manchester United, playing from bottom to top, and the white team is Liverpool. And you can see that there is also a green area that shows you the TV frame at that moment, and the players who are outside this view are, let's say, predicted to be in these locations based on the model that the Skill Corner has developed. So we are going to just run the pipeline of my PhD work, where the thesis is publicly available. You can read it. It's around 200 pages. But let's say summary of that work can be, let's say, presented in this slide, where the idea is that we want to infer the tactical positions of players in each match frame, where we propose a graph representation for the 10 outfield players of one team playing from bottom to top, where you can see here in this case players who are nearest neighbors are connected, players convex hull is included, and then we want to, let's say, be able to say what is the position of a player, any of these players, based on 25 possibilities that you can see on the left side of this screen, where there are, let's say, these are probably the common positions that we are familiar with. And as a result, the player who has been highlighted will be reported to be a left midfielder because he is to the left of this graph in a horizontal level, and he's also in the middle when it comes to the vertical alignment. So what we can do basically is that we can introduce a coloring scheme where players vertical level from the back line to the front line is colored from dark blue to dark red. So you have dark blue for the back line, light blue for the defensive midfielders, gray for the midfielders, light red for the attacking midfielders, and dark red for the players on the front line. We also need to introduce another coloring scheme from the left channel to the rightmost channel. In this case, it's going to be from dark brown to dark green. So we have left, left central, central, right central, and right channel. So for example, a player who has been here, let's say shown with the dark blue color for the upper half semicircle, which shows the vertical level, and the lower semicircle is shown with the light green. Based on this 5 by 5 matrix, the dark blue means the player is in the back line, and the light green means the player is on the right center channel, so that translates to the right center back. So we can basically infer these colors per player over the whole match, and then in the end try to visualize the time series of the positions that we have inferred from those players. And this is just one example. So you pick a player from Manchester United, number 18, and in the upper half row, you show the vertical alignment, and in the lower half row, you show the horizontal alignment. So as you can see, this player is mainly playing as a defensive midfielder because he has a lot of color, light blue colors. And that translates to the defensive midfielder, but he's also moving to the gray channels and also appears in a light red channel. So he's not really always in the defensive midfielder. He's, let's say, moving different levels, going up and down. But when it comes to the horizontal level, we can see that he has a lot of light green color, and that translates to the right center channel. So maybe right defensive midfielder, right central midfielder, and right attacking midfielder. These are the three main, let's say, zones or positions that he's operating from. As you can see, there is a gap in this time series where it has a dot inside it. It means that at this moment of the match, number 18 was taken out and number 43 comes as a substitution. And you can clearly see that when this number 43 comes on the pitch, he is playing, maybe we can say, more offensive, because the coloring for him is more gray and light red than light blue. And also he has moved from the right central channel to the left central channel because of the colors. As you can see, you have a lot of light brown and dark brown for this player. Then there is another gap in this timeline, and this means that in this moment, Manchester United made a substitution, and you can compare the positions of 43 before and after that, let's say, moment. And then there is another and last final substitution moment, where for that exact case, you can see that number 43, maybe we can argue that he has not changed his position, and he was mainly playing maybe a left central midfielder and left attacking midfielder when he came for Manchester United. What else we can do? We can introduce a visualization called position map, where we take a player, like in this case, Casemiro, and we have, for each frame of the match, we have 25 possibilities. So we can just compute a 5 by 5 matrix reporting the percentage of the match time that we have inferred this player to play in any of these positions. And as you can see, and we saw in the time series before, 24% of the time he played as a right defensive midfielder, around 20% of the time he played as a right central midfielder, and he was also, let's say, active in other zones, but these are the main, let's say, positions that we can see from Casemiro. So probably one of the first things you do when you want to analyze a match, you look for the starting 11 players. And in this case, we took the starting formation reported for Manchester United in that match by the Premier League's website. In that match, the manager was Erik ten Hag, and they, let's say, played in a 4-2-3-1. There are some players who are not playing at that club anymore, but there are other players like number 8, number 37, number 6, and number 3 and 20. They are still there, so still we can say it's a relevant match to look at and try to learn how those players behave. So what we can do, we can just take the position maps, the occupancy probability matrices that we introduced in the previous slide, and take the 4-2-3-1 recommendation by the Premier League to arrange these positions maps accordingly. And then this can be a really good starting point to find out whether there is a deviation between the actual match appearance of these players in those positions and what has been recommended by the Premier League. We start with the players in the back line. As you can see, number 20 spent around 40% as a left back. So we can say this is a good, let's say, location to put this player in this position. Number 6 spent around 56% as a left center back, so this is also a good spot. And the same for number 4 and number 3. What we can say for number 3 is that he was appearing more offensive than number 20. So you can argue that number 3 was the offensive fullback and number 20 was the defensive fullback in this match for Manchester United. When it comes to the defensive midfielders, number 18, we saw his position map before, so right defensive midfielder seems a really good choice for him. But when it comes to number 37, you can see that he has really appeared in a lot of cells in that midfield line, and that's a bit, let's say, challenging to say whether he was really the left defensive midfielder or he was really a versatile player. Number 10, Rashford, probably staying on the touchline to the left is something we all expect from him. He's not at Manchester United anymore. He plays at Barcelona right now. But you can see around 48% he was really on the left forward channel. And Garnacho, right now he plays at Chelsea. At that match, he was the right forward player for Manchester United with around 47% of the time as a right forward. Number 8, who is the captain for Manchester United and is going to probably play today, Bruno Fernandes. Based on this layout, that Premier League suggested he was the attacking midfielder, but as you can see, he was really versatile. He was appearing in a lot of cells, and around 17% of the time he appeared as the right center forward. That's really interesting that maybe we can later look and see what was the reason. And then it comes the single, let's say, center forward, number 11, where 28% he was in the center forward position, but 30% he was going to the left, and he had a tendency to lean to that left central channel. So going back to the time series that we introduced, we can just stack all the time series of the players where the starting players are playing from the left and the potential substitutions are shown on the right side of this slide. And this view, which we call a position plot, makes it possible to try to understand how the players and each team started the match in terms of the formation, but also how they reacted to the interesting moments like the halftime that is annotated in this visualization, or the goal scoring moments that you can see that are shown with these vertical lines in black, or the moments that the substitution has been done by the opponent. In this case, you can see there are substitution signs on top of the plot. These are the moments Liverpool made a substitution. I would suggest we pause here for 1 minute and you have the opportunity to see what you can learn from this visualization. For your reference, I have included the 5x5 matrix and the coloring scheme on the top left of this slide. And we will just resume the presentation after 1 or 2 minutes. And you can check the comments and see what you can learn from Manchester United in this match. Feel free to add in the comments what you can learn. And maybe it's easier that I start explaining what we understand from this visualization and then give you the opportunity maybe uh, once again to provide your findings when it comes to Liverpool. So when it comes to Manchester United, you can see the players number 3, number 4, number 6, and number 20. These are the players in the back line because of the dark blue color that you can see in the vertical level. But as we discussed, number 3 is showing to be more offensive than number 20. He has, let's say, a lot of colors in gray or red or even light blue. And so he was the offensive fullback, playing as a right back basically in this match. Number 4, the right center back, because of the light green color when it comes to the horizontal level. Number 6, the left center back, and number 20, the left back. And we can say that after conceding the first and second goal, Manchester United, at least they didn't change anything in their, let's say, back line. You can see that maybe after the first goal, number 20 was playing a bit more offensive. But overall, that was maybe for a short period of the time, and it came back to really be the defensive left back. Number 37 and number 18 were the two players in the, let's say, midfield line, the double pivots, we can say. Number 37 was the left defensive midfielder, and number 18 was just on the right side of him. And based on this visualization, you can see number 18 was more defensive. So even when playing with a double pivot, they are not operating in the same level. Number 18 was a defensive one. Number 37 was more the offensive and the versatile one that we also saw from the position map. And that's the case at least until the halftime, the beginning of, let's say, the second half. Number 17 was the right winger, and number 10, the left winger. We don't see them changing and switching positions, so they were not really changing sides, the wingers. Number 8, we saw that based on Premier League, he was attacking midfielder, but you can see he has appeared in a lot of red color. So that means that he was really coming to the uh, front line and appearing close to the border of the convex hull on the graph at least. So we may say that Manchester United maybe played in a 4-2-4 at least in the first half, and the reason was that number 8 was appearing more on the front line. So there is a halftime break. That's the moment that the coach has the opportunity to intervene. They are 2 goals behind. So the reaction is at least by taking number 18 out and bringing number 43 in. And you can see when number 43 comes on the pitch, he is playing as the left, let's say, midfielder, left central midfielder. And number 37, who in the first half was playing in that, let's say, channel, he has moved to the right because of the light green color that we observed from him. Then there is another goal scored again by Liverpool, and we may say after the goal and before the goal, you don't see a clear reaction. So Manchester United is not reacting to it. And then there is another round of substitutions where number 17, the right winger, was taken out, and number 16 comes on the pitch, Amadou Diallo, and he is continuing the position of number 17. So still, there is no change of, let's say, position with this substitution. Maybe the only observation we can have is that after this substitution, number 8, Bruno Fernandes, has appeared more on the left side, but that also, let's say, continued really for a short period of time where he switched his position with Rashford. As you can see there, the horizontal colors have been swapped. And then it comes to the last substitution for Manchester United, where they took number 11 out. So the central forward player went out, number 14 came in. And this is exactly interesting because you can see number 8 after that played really as the center forward. And number 14, we can say he came to play as attacking midfielder. So overall, the changes Manchester United made were not really significant in terms of position changes. They started in a 4-2-4 based on what we can see here, and the substitutions were just bringing fresh legs, maybe except only this switch that we see that they changed number 37 from the left to play in the right central channel in the second half. And yeah, we can also see that when the Amadou Diallo came on the pitch, there was another substitution, bringing Harry Maguire for Matthias de Ligt, and still Harry Maguire was the right center back, so nothing surprising is happening here. Okay, now we can go and switch to see what we can learn from Liverpool. So this is the lineup reported by the Premier League and the formation that they had in mind, which was 4-2-3-1. So in this case, the manager is the same, Arne Slot, and there are a lot of players that are still playing for Liverpool, and we want to see what and how they behaved in this match in terms of formations and positions. So this is how the position maps will look like if we arrange them according to the 4-2-3-1. And let's start with the players in the back line. Number 30, number 26, 45% he was the left back, but he was also around 27% as a left wing back. Number 4 and number 5, we can argue that left center back and right center back is a good position for them to be placed in this layout. And number 66, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he was, as you can see, a different profile than number 26. So he was, in this case, the offensive fullback compared to Robertson. So same as Manchester United, one of the fullbacks is playing more offensive, going up and down the channels, and the other one is more defensive. The defensive midfielders, you can see the picture is more clear than what we saw for Liverpool. Number 10, McAllister, left defensive midfielder in 33% of the time, and Gravenberch, he was around 25% the right defensive midfielder, but he was also going more up, so around 30% in the right central midfielder channel. So that's why we can argue that they were not really switching sides, but they were not really playing on the same level, the double pivots. Number 7, the left winger in that match, Diaz for Liverpool. He is now playing for Bayern Munich. And then you have 11, Mohamed Salah on the right side, and you can compare their profiles. Clearly, you can see that number 11 was not coming back, let's say dropping back as frequently as number 7. And instead, number 11, Mo Salah was going inside around 18%. So he was in the right center forward channel. And that's a different behavior than the player on the left winger position. Number 8, Szoboszlai, he was around 17% as the left attacking midfielder. So Premier League suggests he was attacking midfielder, and we can say yes, he was a versatile attacking midfielder. He was not like Bruno Fernandes, who was really playing on the first line of pressure, but he was one line behind, but he had a tendency to go to the left. And that's also interesting to look at number 20, Jota. He also played in that match around 30% as a center forward, but also 32% as a left center forward. So Liverpool had a tendency, at least for the number 8 and number 20, to play more left than right. And maybe that goes back to number 11 because he was coming to the center. So maybe that's the consequence of that movement. Now it's time to study how the positions of individual players of Liverpool evolved during the match and whether they reacted to the moments that are interesting, like the goals, or you can see there are some clocks in the visualization. These are the moments that the match stopped. Maybe it was an injury break, maybe it was a VAR moment, and these are based on how many minutes, in this case around 1.5 minutes, the tracking data, let's say, is not, let's say, showing any in-play frame. I suggest that we also pause here for 1 or 2 minutes and give you the chance to write in the comments what you can see and learn. Again, we have the 5x5 metrics on the left side for your reference. And yeah, we can just maybe start with your comments first in this time, and then I can cover what we can maybe learn from Liverpool. Here you can just simply write something in the comments so we make sure that you are still following the presentation. And let me also check. There are not that many people live, so I just see three. So maybe you just write something so we know that at least someone is following what's happening here. Now, okay, then I think I will start again here. Uh, The back four is clear for Liverpool, 66, the right back, because of the dark blue color in the vertical level and dark green in the horizontal. As we showed, he was more playing offensive than number 26. He was left back because of the dark brown color. And the reason number 66 is, let's say, reported to be offensive is, as you can see, a lot of times he has been in the light red color or gray color compared to his left back peer. Number five is the right center back for left center back because of the light green and light brown color you can see in the horizontal level. And that's the case until halftime, so you don't see really a change in the back line for Liverpool. Number 10 and number 38 were the defensive midfielders, where you rarely see switches between them. So number 10 was the left defensive midfielder, and number 38 was the player on the right of him. And he, as we said, he was playing more offensive because of the comparison that you can make just by looking into the frequency of the light blue colors for number 38 compared to number 10. Number 8 is the attacking midfielder, as we said. And the reason is that while you see a lot of red color, but also a lot of light red color, which means he was playing one line behind the center forward. And we showed that he had a tendency to go to the left. And that is clear from the dark brown and light brown color we see in the horizontal level for him. Number 11 is the right winger. Number 7 is the left winger. You can see they don't really switch positions. So that's also the same behavior more or less we see for the wingers of Liverpool, similar to Manchester United. And number 20, the center forward, because of the dark red color that you can see kind of occupies all of his vertical level. and in the horizontal level, you can see a lot of gray color, so but also dark brown color. So Liverpool scores the first goal, they score the second goal. We may say that we don't see any specific position changes before and after they scored the goal. Maybe the only observation it belongs to Diaz. Before scoring the second goal, he was in the center. He was a center forward, let's say, but then after that he went back to the left wing position. Then there is a halftime. Liverpool doesn't make any substitutions, and before and after that, you really don't see any clear change in terms of the formation. So 4-2-3-1 seems a good choice until so far. They scored the third goal, and then after some time, they make their first substitution, where it's just bringing fresh legs. So number 18 comes for number 7, and as you can see, he continues to play as a left winger. Then they make another substitution where number 9 comes and replaces number 20. And as you can say that this is just bringing another fresh leg. They are already 3-0 up. So maybe also there is no reason to change anything in terms of the formation. And what else they do, they take number 66 out, the right back, and bring another right back, 84. And the last substitution is just changing the left back with another left back. So overall, we can say Liverpool really didn't change in a reaction to what happened in the match. There are some teams that when they are up in the last moments, they bring extra defenders, but this was just 3-0, so maybe there was no reason to panic and feel the pressure. So starting with 4-2-3-1, scoring 3 goals and ending the match with the same formation. So what else we can do? We can profile the players. We saw we had these position maps. We can, let's say, pick each player and see how they behave during different match segments. So you had Bruno Fernandes. What you can do, you have when the team has the ball, so in possession, and when the team doesn't have the ball. And when you compare these position maps, you can clearly see that in possession, he was the attacking midfielder with the tendency go to the right, 16% the right attacking midfielder, but also appearing on the front line around 15%. But this picture becomes more clear when he's out of position. He was more the right center forward around 19%. We can do the same for the left back for Manchester United. We already said that he was playing really the defensive left back, but you can see still while he was defensive left back, the picture is totally different in position and out of position. Out of position, really sticking to the left back, but in position, he was covering a lot of different positions. Doing the same for Mohamed Salah. He's playing his last season for Liverpool, so you can see that really in position is 56% of the time the right forward player, and out of position he was dropping more and also going more to the right center forward, but it's still around 43% of the match time being really in that area to the right most on top for Liverpool. And here is, I think, another interesting profile, number 8 from Liverpool. You can see that overall we concluded that he was a left-leaning attacking midfielder, and the picture becomes more clear. In possession, he was really that player, but out of position, you can see that there is a different profile. So out of position, he was also jumping into the front line and playing maybe around 70% as a center forward. So that's why having this in position and out of position view is really important when it comes to profiling the players. And you can construct these position maps across not only one match, but maybe full season of these players' performance, and then use it when it comes to making player shortlists or scouting. So you are interested to know what was his performance when he was playing in different positions, and this is just one way to do that. Finally, we want to see how, if we divide the match into some intervals, the visualization of the special, let's say, layout for each team looks like. The exact way is explained in one of my early webinars, but also in my PhD thesis. And this is just maybe the visualization you can see here, where you see the red team, Manchester United, and the white team, Liverpool. Liverpool from top to bottom, United from bottom to top. And you see there are some arrows, and these arrows show you the most common or frequent position movements that these players make. So we said that 4-2-4 for United seemed to be a better choice, and the reason is really number 8 stepping to the front line. And for Liverpool, the 4-2-3-1, it was our recommendation, similar to what Premier League had. And you can see why that is the case. But you can still see that there is a left side preference for player number 8 and 20 from Liverpool. So this is what we see until the halftime. And in the halftime, we said there is a substitution for United. So they took number 18 out and they brought number 43. And you can see exactly what we also saw in the time series, that 43 played on the left and 37 moved to the right. Still, maybe 4-2-4 for United and 4-2-3-1 for Liverpool. What is interesting to see is that number 11 from Liverpool, Salah, and number 20 from United, Dalot, they are really kind of man-to-man, as you can see in the first half and also in the second half. That's something interesting to see today if you see there is going to be a man-to-man, let's say, behavior when it comes to marking Mohamed Salah. And another interval from the match, it's close to the end of the match, so that's when United, they are 3-0 down. So you can see that they are pushing and playing higher up the pitch, so they are pushing Liverpool to their own half. And you may say here that it's still a 4-2-4 for United. The only difference is that when number 14, Eriksson, came in, he replaced his position with number 8. So Bruno Fernandes appeared to be the center forward, 14 played the attacking midfielder, and the picture for Liverpool seems to be still a 4-2-3-1. So this is also how you can break the match into some intervals, and these are only across the effective time of the match, but you can also go even more deeper to have an in position and out of position visualization. It just makes it more detailed, and it just, I would say, like a Google map. So it depends on your zoom level, how much you want to zoom in. You will see more details, but maybe also it can be a bit too much, so you need to zoom out. So you need to find out the right balance between zooming in and zooming out when it comes to dividing the match time into segments. And finally, what we explained here was completely descriptive. I know that everyone wants to predict what's going to be the next formation that these two teams are going to play, maybe in this match. We had access to the last time what they did, and maybe if you have access to the last 5 matches, you can pick up some signals, but it's still you cannot be 100% sure because the coaches are there. They can make decisions based on maybe what happened. There is a player who has been injured at the last moment, so we will not know what's going to be the formation in this match until we wait for the tracking data to come out and then just run the pipeline and create the similar visualizations as we saw today. What about the next week? Depending on the feedback I received from today's webinar, we may cover Liverpool against Chelsea on Saturday as a webinar, or maybe we just come up with some short clips and upload it on LinkedIn. Let's see, depending on the comments I receive and whether there is any, let's say, appetite and excitement about covering Liverpool against Chelsea next week or not. I think that's it from my side. Thanks for your attention. I will give you some time to ask any questions you have in the comments, and I will also go through the ones that you have already asked to see if there is any need to answer any of them. So I see there is one comment that I already asked, whether we can conduct these, let's say, analyses live during the match, and the answer is that yes, but if you have access to reliable live tracking data, And based on my experience, uh, that's really tricky. For example, the TV broadcast is not available live because we saw that there are players who are not visible in the TV frame, and the data provider needs to wait until the match is over, and then they need to run their model to know based on maybe where on the pitch the player who were not visible in the frame appeared in the next few frames or the previous frames to be able to impute the missing locations. Maybe the only way to have the live tracking data is whether it's coming from GPS or the optical tracking data. If it's coming from GPS, there is a limitation because you only have access to the information of your own team. So you don't know about the ball location and the opponent team. So you can only conduct and create these position plot and visualizations for your own team. But if you have access to the optical tracking data, then you can create the live analysis as we saw today. Let's see if there is any other question or comment to cover. So I don't see anything else to show and discuss today based on the comments. Maybe we wait 2 more minutes and then I stop the stream. I will also just monitor the comments you have already added or you want to add more. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't see any specific reaction in the comment section. But the video will be, let's say, uploaded on LinkedIn and you can rewatch it later. And let me know if you think there is a need to have another webinar covering the next fixed match, or we can just stick to short clips covering some highlights of Liverpool against Chelsea. That's it for today. Enjoy the match. It's going to start in 15 minutes. Try to see if you can pick any of these patterns that we saw today. Maybe for Liverpool, they were, let's say, with the same manager in that match, and there are a lot of players from both teams who are still playing. So you can observe and see if the patterns when it comes to substitutions or players or wingers not switching sides, you can just with your naked eye can detect them or not. And I hope it was, let's say, exciting presentation for you, engaging, and you could learn something from today's webinar. Okay, thank you very much and have a nice day ahead.